Today is an exciting day as it is my first trip on the 2027 Fantic XE300. I more or less ordered this thing about a year ago and got it from Billet Motorsports in Redline. Big shout out to them for their patience. I'm sure I was a pretty annoying customer because I just wanted to know where it was. Really, if Fantic spent half the money on getting the bikes here that they did advertising, they would have been here 8 months ago. But here we are, it's finally here. Took delivery on Monday, and our day was supposed to be finishing out part 3 of TNT, 1 and 2 of which I did on the YZ125X, and we got about 4 miles out. I fell on a rocky uphill double and broke off my front brake lever. So we'll talk about some likes and dislikes. Obviously that is one of the dislikes. The hand guards are really only just that, they're just hand guards. And I was looking at them beforehand and thought maybe I should do wraparounds or something similar that I have on the 125X, and then just figured it'll be okay. Well, it wasn't okay. Big shout out to Matto Cycles as well. Just a couple miles down the road for having a front brake lever in stock for a YZ250X, which is what this Fantic is based off of. So it is not a Yamaha really in any way beyond the chassis. It is a 250X chassis, and then everything from there, Minerelli, Italian blood, all that good stuff.
No, don't say that. Don't say that. I still see it. No. Oh. This tire is not the tire on the YZ. Huh? This tire is not the tire on the YZ. Not even close.
So I don't really want to start out with a bunch of dislikes because I don't have many, but factory tires I didn't really have high hopes for, and that all came true as we went along. It's not the gummy that I have on the YZ. The YZ has an AT81EX. It's pretty much Velcro up here. And this is some sort of rock hard, just, you know, bike has to come with tires, so they put tires on it. So that'll be the first thing that goes. I will probably try a VE33S, but only because they make that in the 140. The AT81EX only comes in the 110, so I'll try to keep the factory size for now and get something a little bit stickier because it was sliding around a lot more than I'm used to. I don't think it was a power issue, but I did notice in the times where I did have some issues, it was because I was riding it like the YZ. So with the 125 being such a tiny little engine, I'm used to clutch work non-stop. And with this thing, I had a hard time just relying on twisting the throttle. That feels very unnatural to me, but boy does it have a lot of go with just a twist of the throttle. So that's something that I'll have to kind of retune and reteach myself for to make things work the way they're supposed to. I think I was using the clutch a little bit more than I should on this. There are also a couple power modes on this bike. If you catch from time to time on the left bar, you'll see a little light. That is in map 2 right now, so that is the low power mode. Map 1 is no joke and definitely not for me right now. But the way I see it, when it is for me, it'll be like getting a new bike all over again with only having to touch a button. And then last dislike for now, the kickstand is really weird. So it comes down into like an intermediate position and then you really have to force it forward. I think that's something that I can modify a little bit to make that work the way it's supposed to. If not, maybe I'll just get a 250X kickstand. But, you know, those three things, the hand guards that aren't really hand guards, the tires, and the kickstand, that's not a huge deal. So we'll get into things that I do like, which is pretty much everything else. Coming off the 125, obviously, the power, it's got boatloads of that. The e-start, which, you know, pretty much every bike has now. I don't love that there's not a backup kickstart, but we'll just hope that everything works. I know in the 25s, if the screen fell asleep, which happens after about a minute or two, they could not be bump started, so that's something I'm going to play with a little bit, as that starter is the wake up for the ECU. at least that starter button. So I guess as long as the starter button works, it would be okay, even if the starter itself doesn't work. So I will check to see if that is something that they have changed for 27, or maybe I'll just find a way to change it myself. I think that's, you know, well within my range of capabilities. But those two things, obviously, it does seem to ride a little bit better than the 125. I don't know if it's just the weight of it, but I set my forks to the same soft click that I have on the YZ, and, you know, just 6 turns back, and set my sag on Friday night, and it just seems like it handles a little bit better. It's a little bit smoother. It is not lowered, and the YZ is lowered, so maybe that has slightly something to do with it. And, you know, I can barely touch, but I'm trying to leave this one alone as much as I can for now, as far as the factory geometry. Just, you know, let it go. I ran into another issue with that rear tire in this section, which last time we did backwards, but normally we do run it up through this way, so I already kind of had a heads up that something was going to not go well for me with Maddie not being able to get through on the AT81EX, so of course he eventually did make it, and so did I, but as soon as I dropped into this section here, and then actually got beyond where Maddie got stuck, I was just spinning. So I had to do some pushing.
It's like I'm trying to break my lever and dent my pipe.
I don't love that tire. Like I said, it's going to be the first thing to go, so a little bit of shopping to do here after the fact. But right out of the box, it does seem like a pretty solid view. So Manny was saying on the way up, enjoy riding in first all day since I'm normally in second on the YZ. I was in second all day on this. I had no problem pushing through that. I was actually riding some of the single in third throughout the day, but it was starting to get like a little knocky down there, so I did go back down to second, but it has plenty of power. It's the same gearing as the 250X. It's actually the same transmission as the 250X, I believe, but plenty of power down there, so I can stay in second gear in the single. It does seem like first is too spinny, just like it was on the 125, which is why I like second. Like I said, third was a possibility, and some of the stuff, definitely the flowier stuff, I'd be able to, and just sort of idle along through it.
Yeah. And this not gummy is beating me up.
So for things that I can't change just by ordering parts that I like, it is pre-wired for a battery tender, which I thought was pretty nice. So just pop off the cover for the air filter, and there is a tender cable in there, so just plug your tender in and you'll be able to maintain that over the winter. The screen has a bunch of options in it, and one of those is an oil service. I don't think that's something I'm going to forget about, but it is nice that it's there, I guess. And it does vibrate a lot less than the 250, so it's a lot smoother. It was one of my fears with this, that it was going to feel like Maddie's bike and it was going to rattle my brain out, because the 125, again, with being such a small engine, has almost no vibration to it whatsoever. So it is a little more than the 125, but it is a lot less than the 250X. So a lot comfier, I think, to ride, something that you could ride probably a lot longer. The injection is a little weird. It's something that I'm just going to have to hope and trust works. So it is fuel injected and oil injected, and you know, with regular maintenance that stuff should continue working the way it's supposed to, but it does make me a little nervous that at any point it could just decide to stop injecting oil and, you know, poof, there goes my engine. So hopefully that doesn't happen. We will find out as the hours start to rack up on this thing, but I am excited to get out there and put as many on it as I can. Hopefully finish TNT like we planned on at the beginning of this day before my dumbass dropped it and broke my front brake lever. So I will shut up now and just let the rest of this video play out. If you have any questions about the bike or Fantic in general, throw those down in the comments. If I don't know the answer, I will find out as soon as I can. And just can't wait to put some more seat time, more hours, more miles, more everything on this thing, and see where it takes me.
Well, I gotta say, I like the engine holding power over the 125. That was nice. I guess I'll just take the low way. Oh no. Oh, a little sharp.
Thanks for joining me for the XE300's first rip in the wood and first scratches and first breaks. But like I said earlier, I'm excited to see where this thing takes me. I did do a few protective items to it first before I took it out today, so I do have a video of that stuff. I will throw that in the end screen. Thanks for watching.